Oh, wait, how about the media wars?
Ready, I believe we're live. All right. And once again, this is Unthoff Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you're listening to Eldritch Rants, the show that dares to ask the question, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if they were a social justice warrior? We're joined with Atheist Jr. and Seabreeze. We were hoping that we're going to be able to attend, like he late if he shows up. Still waiting on you. Got face saved. Any rate, how's everybody doing this evening?
Marvelous.
Yeah, I'm okay.
The enthusiasm is overwhelming. At any rate, we'll start with a few things few corrections and some couple things we missed yesterday because it's the internet and news moves incredibly fast. I believe the thing we didn't cover yesterday that I missed was Amy Schumer quits the Barbie movie. That thing was going to be a train wreck no matter. I think everyone can agree. The whole thing was going to be nothing but identity politics. She was supposed to be the fat Barbie in Barbie Land. I can't see how that was going to work. But considering everything that's done, she said, "Oh, I'm too busy. I have other things to handle." Like she's got her current train wreck of a movie, which is Snatched or something. I don't even.
A snatch.
Yeah, it's Snatched. Like I don't even want to know. I just don't want to know. She is not funny. There's nothing. I'm sure it's going to be nothing but politics.
It
Whatever.
sounds horrendous.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the little looking into the Barbie movie doesn't even have a director right now, and I think that's for the best. I'm not a big fan of Barbie, um, so I wouldn't care one way or the other. But Mattel should protect its product.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no
At
way
this
this should be.
rate, it's going to be canceled, and that's for the better.
Keep it in production hell.
Oh yeah, my God, it was clearly a cash in to begin with, and then it got a hold of. I mean, and you know how they're going to market it. It's going to use the same identity politics Ghostbusters. If you're
And of
insulting
course,
your
because it's a
audience,
Barbie movie, it would be directed towards little girls, so they would be indoctrinated children with that.
here's the thing: there's already been recently a Barbie movie. I'm forced to watch shows, and there's a cartoon Barbie movie. So why is
I
there a
feel
live
so bad
action?
for you.
Yeah. Oh God, I watch all the TV I watch is at work. I'm forced to. Any other comments about it? I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
I have to say
It
that
sounds like
uh,
absolute cancer.
Uh,
Amy Schumer, Amy Schumer is just as funny as Sarah Silverman. Just stop. Get some help.
Amy, well, I will say with Silverman, I can laugh at her. I mean, some of the crazy, insane things she does, I will laugh at Amy Schumer. Well, no, I'm not. I'm sorry, Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman. She's the one who saw some spray paint on the ground from a construction company that was marking gas lines and said, "Swastikas, Nazis
Illu-
were here." I mean,
Illuminati.
I can't help but laugh at that. I really can't. I mean that is a next level of idiocy that is hard to achieve. So Sarah Silverman, I can laugh at her. Amy Schumer, I can't even laugh at. Nothing she I can't even mock her. Just one of the moments where you hear about anything she does and you go,
Now, as for the Barbie movie itself, if they actually do succeed, the only way that I would even pay a cent to watch it is if they made Bo Burnham Barbie.
"What was that?"
Bo Burnham as
Oh, Bo
Barbie.
Burnham. Bo
Oh,
Burnham.
okay.
Burnham, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce English names.
You couldn't. I mean, the problem is that what is Barbie? Barbie is somebody who lives in a dream house drives a dream car and has a dream boyfriend and has 1,000 different perfect jobs. Where's the
It's
plot?
somebody else's dream.
Yeah,
My
where's the
whole
conflict?
family thinks I'm anorexic.
When your star is
I'm
perfect, nobody
Barbie
cares.
girl in a purple
Yeah,
dress.
it's a Mary Sue. Like, Barbie itself, it's the concept that pretty much gave birth to Mary Sue's. All the characters that are way too perfect, everybody loves too much. It's not entertaining at all,
The Disney archetype.
basically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we can go on. I don't know if anybody caught any part of the live action, The Beauty and the Beast. I thought the first one was okay, but had some interesting overtones. This looked like it was slamming home
I think
politics.
some some say it
I
was like
I refuse to watch the new Beauty and the Beast, though I noticed that the first Beauty and the Beast has a lot to do with bestiality and Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, that's the whole story in it. But the whole thing is that Hugh. I mean, think about it. The whole story is, oh no, she can't fall in love with him, being forced to fall in love with him. Well, what about him? I mean, if he doesn't fall in love, hundreds of people will be forever forced in the form of an inanimate object. I mean, seriously, he has a choice in the matter. You must fall in love. You can't do anything else. I mean, everybody's more than happy to go, oh no, she's being forced to do stuff. But when you get around to actually looking at him, my God, okay, he was a jerk. He was a kid who screwed around and mocked some little old lady for like trying to, get into his castle with a rose. All right, you're a colossal jerk. What did everybody else in the castle do to deserve the horror? I mean, we're all supposed to go, yay, they won. But really, if you think about it, the punishment didn't fit the crime, for one. Two, he had no choice in the matter. Everything he had to do was scripted for him. She at least had the choice to dump him. That's just my opinion. The whole movie is twisted. But I overthink things, so sometimes you just need to sit down and just check your brain at the door and just enjoy the visuals. I still like the one line in there where it says, what can I do to get her to love her? The clock says, well, you can do the usual flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep. I think that's the best line.
Uh, Considering I haven't watched it and it already sounds like a train wreck from what I've heard, yeah, probably the best line.
At any rate, if nothing else on movies in general, let's move on to El Buchel Media, who, well, YouTube has long had a practice where the old saying is, you punch up, you don't punch down. Somebody punches up at you, it's okay to punch back down. But Buchel Media has been attacking small YouTubers, and this is actually a growing trend where since they can't get the big guys, can't get John Trump, can't get PewDiePie, who's more popular than ever now, thanks to the SJW. I mean the Wall Street Journal. Sorry about that. Got the letters mixed up. Now I can see it's just clearly intimidation tactics to go after anybody who they can see. Spread the word that if you try and express your opinion, they're going to come after you. It's terror tactics. Of course, in my opinion, it's just sheer desperation, of course. It's a sign of weakness if you've got to go after somebody with like 200 subs or less.
It's
You go.
obvious that their threads are empty. I mean, they use fucking templates.
Oh yeah,
Why can't
I'm no, go ahead.
why can't they just better their content instead of coming at people that are up and coming or already have a pre-existing fan base? They're talking about, oh, we're becoming irrelevant. Why can't you just actually do good content then? What's the purpose of doing all this?
You really want the answer?
Sure, why not?
Okay, well, the bottom line is this. You've got large office with a lot of people and they want to keep their jobs. These people are desperately trying to justify their existence. So But then you turn around and you look at PewDiePie, which is, I think it's him. Like one guy gets some help from people, but it's really one guy with what, 5 times, 10 times the viewership of, I don't know, CNN. How does he do it? Does it on a shoestring budget. Okay, he does it with nothing. He's got the bare bones. That's what people want. They want the information. Meanwhile, you've got CNN and all these other people, huge networks going out there, getting stuff, getting information, and it's useless. Useless. And so they become desperate and they're trying to get the money from wherever they can. And where do they get the money from? People with agendas. People with agendas are paying them. So they have to kowtow to the people who have their agendas. But what does this do? It alienates the general population, decreasing their viewership, making them more dependent on all small groups of people with huge pocketbooks. And it's just a recurring cycle where the only way they're going to get fixed is if they get back to normal. But they've trashed their reputation so bad, nobody's going to trust them. It'll take 6 months, maybe a year of doing things correctly before anybody even starts to consider CNN to be. And that's the
I
problem. I mean,
I think it will take longer.
I can see that if CNN flat out said, I know how I could fix it. You'd have to make a big show of firing upper management, a big show of hiring somebody that a lot of people trust. But even then, it would take a year. It would take at least a year to start to rebuild any sort of reputation. It's not going to happen. And in the meantime, you've got all these people who, like, they're so desperate to keep their jobs, they're going to do anything. And what do they have to do? Lash out at random. That's all they got left. That's why I'm going to repeat it. Somebody's going to file bankruptcy this year. It's going to. You can't keep this up. You can't. Not possible. Eventually, the people who are funding you will realize, there's no point to funding these people anymore. They're not reaching any audience. They've lost everybody. I'm not getting anything out of my money, so they're just going to stop donating. And as soon as they stop giving money to CNN and they've got nothing to prop them up, boom, it's going to collapse.
I have to say, you know, what's the point of coming at the little small channels that are most likely broke?
There's no point.
There's no point.
it's flailing about. It's
People
when
are gonna get
if
angry if
I'm
you go after small channels. If people get angry at you, they're going to watch your content so that for the sole fact that they'll be able to comment on your content and attack you. If they watch your content, then you will get money from that. You will get attention from that. If you keep attacking people, more people are going to keep going to your channel, maybe not subscribing because they're mad at you, but they're going to see your videos, you're going to get attention, you're going to get money, you're going to keep your job.
Well, I do remember this though. What you're dealing with is people who went to a school and then they probably went and got a math. So they put in a minimum of 6 years, spending $100,000, $200,000, depending on the school. They're huge in debt, and then they get into this industry and find out your job isn't secure and there's no place to go. Even if you've been there for 10 years, you're watching people evaporate. You're downsizing. I think, what was it? The Wall Street Journal is renting out, a floor of their building to pay the bills. That's crazy. But they got nothing left. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. And they're either going to have to massively downsize, which is jobs. People don't want to lose their jobs. What are they doing? They are taken to the streets. And I don't think this is actually coordinated. This is obviously just individuals and a couple of small groups of people all getting together, getting the same idea and trying it. And that's why it seems so haphazard.
Well, for me personally, attacking the broke people of the media of the lower levels of media is bad press because if you attack the little guy, the underdogs are the ones that are going to get the spotlight. And if you're not painted as the underdog and you're attacking the underdog, that's just going to prop them up and you're just going to sink even faster.
Well, two things that actually from my past experience. One is bill collector. There was no next month. There was no next month, and we all know what's her name? I don't want to even say her name. That person who was on MNSBC, what's her name, who got Trump's tax forms. She hyped it up so bad. She got really good ratings for one night. And then, but in the process, you shoot yourself in the foot and everybody thinks you're a joke afterward. But she didn't care because she needed to get the good ratings now. We're not caring about next month. We're caring about now. That's the mentality. There is no next month anymore. You stop thinking about the future, you have none. No future once you stop thinking. And back to the whole intimidation thing, that's something we used to do as bill collectors too. We'd send out all these weirdly worded forms. Never sued anybody. Never. There was no point. Because I'll tell you this, trying to get money out of somebody, even without a lawyer, you can jerk. If you don't have a lawyer, you can jerk around a company for a year. It's easy. And then finally, when it starts to actually look bad, if they've been serious about coming after you for a year, you then go, you know what? I've changed my mind, Judge. I'd like to have a lawyer now. Resets the clock. The whole thing starts over from scratch. And now with a lawyer, you could drag it out another 2. That's why it rarely, it's even when as a bill collector, if you owed us money, we would very rarely sue people because it would take forever. And unless we knew 100% we were going to win, there was no. But threatening letters, that sort of thing, looking intimidating, saying leading statements, asking leading questions, that's easy. And so if you're somebody who's listening to us and you're like going, oh my, I'm worried about it, don't worry about these people. They're just trying to create an app. You should actually double down. You should talk more about them. You should talk about the threat. You should take their letter and put it on your channel. Because trust me, and if you do get worried, come talk to me. I'll tell you exactly what. There's in America, it is very, very difficult to get money out of people unless you're willing to put in a lot of time. It's not, these companies won't be around in 3 years. They won't. No way. Anyway, any other comments on this
They
topic?
should they should have diversified their skills instead of counting all their chickens before they hatched and never had a backup plan.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they did well. I mean, remember in the warning to anybody looking into going into college. Modern colleges are about getting your money, not about teaching you. You know, unless you absolutely positively have to go to a college to get specifically what you want, don't do it. Go to a trade school, go to the company in question you want your job from, and ask if there's any other way, a training program, an internship, an apprenticeship, other way other than going to college. Because at this point, college degree, unless it's, something in STEM fields, is resume stain. It's resume stain. There's no other. You graduate and you said, even a degree in psychology now, unless you're going on to get the PhD, there's no point. Unless you're getting a PhD in psychology, the master's is junk. The basic, the BS, junk. God forbid you get like anything that's in history, women's studies, or anything that's X studies. It's if I had a company and I saw somebody that said I've got a degree in women's studies, I'd be like, thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day, and just there's the door. Don't let it hit you in the eye. It's a joke, really is. But like all things, it'll change. Once the money runs out, can't afford to do this bullshit. Who knows? The only question is how long, not when. How long, not.
Hopefully, that how long is within the next 8 years.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. If my prediction would be, Donald Trump right now is fighting. He's already running for the people for the midterm election. That's everything he's doing. After 2018, when the midterm elections go through, and I totally believe Republicans are more of a majority. You're going to start seeing these schools losing government funding. It's gonna happen. Get places where they have riots and the police don't do anything. But he can't do it just yet. He needs to establish paper trail. So you're going to be looking at the next year or two. But right after 2018, oh God, that's when he's. Right now, all of this is just making the Democrats looking. He's trying to get stuff through, but he's not. It's obvious this is just chess. What was it? He pulled his healthcare plan reform. he pulled it. He just called up and said, pull it, and everything stopped. Why? I mean, wouldn't you try to at least push it through? Because the point wasn't to get it through. He kind of knew it wasn't. The point was to make the Democrats stand up again. That was it.
Yeah, I have high hopes for Trump, and while problems with America are not really my business since I'm Canadian, I do have to say it will at one point affect me in the future because I do plan on going to an American university. But hopefully it turns itself around and actually becomes a productive place again, as it hasn't been in the past 8 years.
Well, for a bit more, longer than that. At any rate, if nothing else on this topic, let's move on to morality, I guess. I'm sure everybody at this point's heard about PragerU and their video about Earl.
Oh my goodness. Really? You gotta be kidding me.
Yep, I kill 8 people a day, rape 7 women, and steal 52 cars.
All because you don't believe in God. That's your problem. If you just believe, stop all.
How about secular
Like Hitler.
values, man? Come on. How about
I know
that
you wanted to
secular
go off for a
values?
bit, Junior. So if you want to go for a bit, go ahead. Then I'll make my own comment.
All right. So, as Jacqueline Glenn pointed out in her video on this, morality is incredibly subjective. It depends on what point in time you're living in. In the Victorian ages, they had different morals than they did in today's society. We're probably going to have extremely different morals, and whatever the next society is. We definitely had extremely different morals in medieval times. I mean, we considered burning people at the cross moral so long as they didn't follow the biblical rules, and in Middle Eastern countries they think that it's moral to chop people's heads off, and they do believe in God. Yeah, it's just not in the same language, and it's a different God, but it's still God. Therefore, there is not really a difference other than the religion itself. So, do Christians think that it's moral to chop off the heads of women for having sex and men for being gay? And as for the whole Nazis being atheists thing, no, no, that's not true. They've had so much religious symbology in their whole bullshit reign. Like, they had it on their belts even, and to think for 1 second that the Nazis were atheists just shows how much research you've put into it, and possibly dropping out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say that majority of Nazis were actually pretty devout Christians. There was a definite smaller group that I would actually say pagan, occult like actions. They're the whole fool.
Yeah, even like the swastika comes from like, pagan things,
Oh,
throughout
well,
all of
originally
different cultures.
that was God,
Hindu, right?
Hindu. That's the one. Yeah, but
Yeah,
all they
wasn't it
did,
a symbol of peace?
yeah, it was. But
It
then
was.
the Nazis turned it side. It turned it 45 degrees. That's it. So that's the
It was a
difference. If it's flat,
symbolism.
it's Hindu, and if it's 45 degrees, it's Nazis.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, is a funny thing
but
that some I saw over
everything.
on Harmful Opinions. I don't know who's Steve Shies, the master of banning. He bought a anti-Nazi pin, but the way it's set up, it isn't anti-Nazi; it's anti-Hindu. They got it wrong.
Fuck
That
the
is.
Hindus, those damn violent bastards killing 6 million Jews.
Oh, hey, Miss Adventures, how's it going? Been a while. Hey, you want to hop on? I can send you the link. I don't know if I sent you the Discard invite.
But let's elaborate on that daggum morality thing. Oh my goodness. This. how about the people who have secular values then? Are they immoral, man? The people that are the good Samaritans and the upright guys that didn't believe in religion or just didn't have religion, man, that's just insulting.
Uh, well, before I answer that, misadventures, get some sleep then if you woke up in your computer chair. At any rate, my personal opinion on the whole matter, and I've worked on a suicide prevention hotline, so you'd be surprised how often the topic of what's the meaning of life comes up. My default is to people, there's a meaning, just sometimes it's temporary, and there is morality, and sometimes it's temporary. But just because something's temporary doesn't mean it doesn't have meaning. Just because a morality is subjective doesn't mean it's not strong. I firmly believe that killing is wrong, and I have a strong, absolute abhorrence to ever striking anyone because of all the violence that happened to me. But I will tell you this right now. If you go after somebody who I have pledged to protect, that goes out the window. I will not allow you to hurt somebody I am protecting. And that has come up frequently, but it has. And afterwards is when I have my breakdown. But in the moment, I recognize I'm protecting somebody else. Am I going to kill them? No, not at all possible. In fact, I've become quite the expert at incapacitating people. Kind of my job. I can take people down without even bruising them. Sometimes I have to, and sometimes they kick my ass. But, that's the point. The fact of the matter is no, I don't believe in it. I am an atheist. I don't like flat out say, oh, there's a. No, I'm pretty convinced it's. But that said, it doesn't mean that. Moral, I have my morality. In fact, my morality is often very stronger than a lot of Christians because I've given it a lot more thought. I've put it to the flame. I have fed it through a crucible and I've bled off everything that is important. I feel that my morality is pretty hardcore. And when I have to say, okay, I've reached the point where I can't follow it anymore, because if I follow my morality, somebody's going to die, I don't afterwards feel bad about it. I feel bad about, getting into a violent situation, but I don't say to myself, oh, I hurt this people and broke my morality. No, they made their choice. My experience has been for people who are like Prager, you must believe in God or there's no morality. Um, well, at some point, if you look back far enough, you have to say, okay, so who created morality the first time? And if you keep going back, then it's always subjective. God made it, it's subjective because it's God's subjective. Oh no, he's perfect, really. If he is, then I've got a lot to blame him for. But that said, nearly there, I don't have any problems. Just as a side note, I want to make this clear. I love Western civilization, and Western civilization is pretty much Christian values to some degree or another. And so, good job there. So, I don't want to say, hey, let's slam all Christians. I'm more slamming people who are fundamentally religious. You're secular and you can put your religion and politics aside. Great. It's because that's our problem. The problem with Muslims. We've got Muslims over here in America who are secular, and they're all going, what the hell is wrong with you people letting over those nut jobs? I don't have a problem with those guys because those guys can separate the two. It's the ones who are like, must have sure. Because think of it this way, if you believe in the afterlife devotedly, and you see something that if you go, my God, if I don't do something about this, I'm going to burn for eternity, you're going to do something. That's the problem. But, a little bit of a rant there off to the side. And yes, you can feel free to armchair hassle us as much as you want. Anyway, do you have any other comments on this topic here?
Well, I have to say that when it comes to the Jews as well as the Christians, as well as the now moderate Muslims, is proof that they can reform their ways and become more civilized and not have to be in alignment with those fundamental values that are detrimental to modern civilization. So it's possible, But if we are not trying to push for that reform, things are not changing. And again, people without religion are can be moral. You don't need religion to be moral.
Oh, and as a side note, since you brought up Jews, there are Jewish atheists, and but they still practice the rituals and whatnot to be part of the culture. They see the difference, and the other Jews are like, "That's what you are, okay, and accept it." I forget they have a very special word for it, and I'm like, "Wow, that's actually a next level kind of progressive there, where you can say it's okay for you to come here, join our church, practice all this stuff. We're not going to. You don't accept God, we understand, but you're part of being a Jew. You're part of Jewish culture and all these Jewish rituals. You can accept that. That's. I wish we had more of that in other at level. You can accept somebody for. I will do all the stuff that this Bible here says, or whatever book they have, but I just don't believe there's an actual God. Wow. Don't get kicked out? That's amazing. I mean, if we had more of that, the world would probably be a nice. At any rate, anything else? Oh, 1 second. We live in a time where we no longer need religion to be moral, but I want to point out ideas developed out of religion. So, in essence, no, you. Okay, I can see. Although, in my opinion, I think the origin of morality was always along the lines of what was good for our tribe, family, and what is bad. I think that's the simplification, and everything just. At any rate, I think we can move on from this topic then. Ah, updates on He Will Not Divide Us. I was wrong yesterday. Apparently the flag wasn't just tied on; it was zip tied like 8 or 9 times, and so
Yeah.
it took a long time for them to cut it down. And when they did, they had to run from the cops. In the process, they either surrendered the flag and were let go, or they dropped it behind them and ran. So no 4chan or 8chan, whichever one is supposedly claiming responsibility for this, they did not get the flag. So technically speaking, we have to give 1 point to Shia LaBeouf. But, the cops did say, this is dangerous. You had 3 guys, I believe, climb the side of your building to try and get your flag. That's a hazardous. You've got. So ends season 4 of Wendu.
I still consider that a victory.
Oh,
Victory,
yeah, maybe this is more of a tie than a victor,
victory.
than a flat out loss. My fear is that he's going to stop.
That's my hope that he's going to stop. But at the same time, it's incredibly entertaining.
Somebody, I listening to a bunch of stuff on this, and somebody had a great point. Maybe it stopped being "He Will Not Divide Us" is about Trump, and he is now Shia LaBeouf. And if you think about it, what he's doing is drawing people together, not just in America, but all across the world. He had a coordinated effort across an ocean to capture this flag from him. That is bringing people together. Whether or not he intended or not, he is not dividing people. He is bringing people together by basically making himself the biggest target in the world. And so, in some regards, yes, I'd like him to stop the stupidity. But on the other hand, I really wish he would bring it here to central New York. I really do. I would love a shot at it myself. I mean, wouldn't you want him to bring it to your neighborhood, or at least know it's in your state, just so you can try and make a shot at it?
Province.
Honestly, I'd have to say that even if Shia LaBeouf stops doing this, I think people should host capture their flag events and make it a official thing, a fun official thing that is masked as a alternate reality game. That'd be fun, very edgy, very cool.
I don't think edgy is the right term for that, but I do agree that would be entertaining, but that's incredibly off topic if I do say so myself. Virtual reality, capture the flag games, not quite the same thing as people all across the world bounding
Well,
together to take down a flag that some beta male wants to keep putting up.
in alternate reality games, it can have live action elements. There's plenty of people who are did alternate reality games and they had real life items that you need to get, like, in a hunt.
What if I accidentally walk into the middle of ongoing traffic while I'm doing a virtual reality thing?
Somebody's getting sued.
It's not like we don't.
Well, no, it's
It's
not
not.
virtual reality. It's alternate reality. It's basically a big. You know what a LARP is?
Live action roleplay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically that, except it's played by people all over the world. What was it? Yeah, it's happened a couple of times. People have done some stuff. Personally, if Shia LaBeouf does give up, I think that we should organize on the anniversary capture the flag event. Pakistan should. It's celebration, of how
Yeah.
he brought everybody together.
Yeah. Celebration. Yeah.
Both
History.
the victory of 4chan and the bringing together of nations.
We can make it an annual event. It's a celebration. Oh
A day
well.
off work and a day off school every year for that.
So personally, I'm mixed. I kind of like, dude, let it go. You're never. But on the other hand, it's like, you know what? Oh, I just wish it was put it somewhere in my state, somewhere in the put it within a couple hundred. I'll drive. I'll figure out where it is. I'll be part of this because just be fun. But
If I had a
Pepper.
passport, I would love to go to America and help out.
well, but we'll have to see where it goes. We'll have to see if season 5 comes about. I don't know what his next plan is. My personal bet is that he's going to put the flag in a safe somewhere and put a camera on it. But because I don't think he's going to keep putting it outside after.
Is he
I,
gonna
I mean,
turn
that man's like filthy fucking rich. I wouldn't be surprised if he flew it on a plane or some shit.
oh, that would be funny if it moved. If he had it like on a vehicle and it
Oh
drove or
yes,
he
just
like he moved
imagine
it
people
every
trying to get
day.
there.
Oh my god, think about it. If every day it moved to a new location and then the flag was raised for only 1 hour a day. Oh,
That
that would
that's
be a
that's
challenge.
absolute genius.
That would be a
I want to see
challenge.
him bring it to Canada too.
Oh, it needs to go worldwide. It needs to go
Yes,
everywhere.
it does. Then yeah, just take it on a plane, bring it to other countries, bring it to Europe, bring it to Eurasia, bring it to Asia, bring it to the Middle East.
Oh yeah. Of course he'd well, I mean he's got the beard, so he'd probably be okay.
This is some Jason Bourne stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean what they did, they when I saw they like coordinated, they did. I'm looking at it and saying, where did they get these overhead pictures from? Did you have like a drone that you flew up into the air just to take pictures of the? You could draw out the maps. I mean, this is like the A team level of
Well,
crazy.
you can get drones, but also there's satellite footage in general.
The angles didn't look like satellites to me. It looked like either somebody was high up on a building or they had a drone. But I mean, and they did it within 14 hours. Oh, that is just a level of dedication. But I believe
A
they're called.
drone seems like the most realistic explanation. I don't think anybody would be able to get shots like that from a building.
But
Well,
I believe at this point they're called what? Watch frogs. That's their official title.
yeah, apparently so. That's what they're saying.
Well, we will have to wait and see if there's going to be a season 5. But at this point, the problem is that I don't think Shia LaBeouf knows what he's got something great. But I'm probably going to get. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
This is the one time that I will encourage a beta male to keep doing stupid shit.
Oh yeah, it's I don't know. It's got so many different layers to it.
Like an onion.
Yes, it's like an onion. Like an onion. It's something that should have been thought up by the.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
Oh, Misadventures. I'm sorry. You've never heard of He Will Not Divide Us, the flag? He had his own website. It started off where he just had a bunch of people chanting in front of a camera, and then it got moved. And then there were gunshots at the new location, so that guy had to be closed. So Shia LaBeouf took a flag that said, "He will not divide us," ran it up on a flagpole in the middle of a field, in the middle of, what was it, Tennessee? Somewhere. And he put a camera
Yes.
at it pointing up
Yes,
at the
Tennessee.
sky. So nobody knew where it was because he didn't want any more trolls coming to his camera and ruining it. And within 36 hours, a team of people, 4chan had coordinated by looking at not chemtrail, trails from airplanes flying overhead and astrology, the way the stars were moving and the flags and the time the sun set to narrow down to like a 50-mile radius. And then they had somebody in a car drive around honking their horn until the live feed picked up the horn honks. And then they homed in on it, stole the flag. This is season 3, and ran up a Make America Great Again and a Pepe t-shirt on the flag instead. Season
Pepe.
That was season 3. Now season 4, he moved to Liverpool, UK, flew the flag on top of a building with a camera pointing up at it. Within 14 hours, they had found it, coordinated like camera shots, determined the best way to parkour up the side of a building. Some guy dressed up like a video game character with a covered mask and whatnot, and then appears in front of the video camera for the feed, just stares into it, turns around, and then they try to steal the flag. The problem is it was really secure. Eventually they had to cut it down, and when they fled, the cops caught up with them. So they were forced to either surrender it or abandon it as they ran away. Nobody got arrested, good. But no, this is not a show. This is Shia LaBeouf. This is Shia LaBeouf trying to say he will not divide us, talking about Donald Trump. You have these people chanting. And strangely enough,
You
there are
will
still
not
people
divide us.
chanting
You will
on their.
not divide us.
There's that
You
one
will not
guy.
divide us.
He does it from
You will
home
not
all by
divide us.
himself.
You will not divide us.
He will not
You will
He
divide
will
not
us.
not
divide us.
divide us.
You will.
He
You will
will not
not.
divide
He will
us.
not inside us.
He will
He will
not
not
He will
inside
divide
us.
not inside us.
us.
And
You,
this just
He
went
will not
over
divide
and
us.
over and over. And it's not a
He
show,
will
but
not
everybody's calling it
divide
a show
us.
now. Because
He will
what do you
not
call it?
divide
It's like the ultimate capture the flag. It's crazy.
you will not inside us.
Yeah, he will not inside. I mean, they have done so much to mock this guy. And you need to look up some pictures. He got arrested over this. He flipped out and attacked somebody over this whole thing, and then he got arrested. And his mugshot is just this picture of this broken man. He's just trying so hard, and you can just see that his soul is shattered into a million pieces.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh yes.
When you
But
try so hard, but you don't succeed.
so I mean, at this rate, if every time he puts it up, they like get it 3 times faster, eventually they're going to be able to go after the flag before it's even put up. That's it's 3 more attempts, but who knows what he's going to do? Oh yes, a lot of people are now saying other videos like, please come to my neighborhood, come to my country, come to wherever I am. I want a shot at it too. Oh yes. Yeah, that is the other talk. Is one other person was like, why did they try to capture it? I personally, if I had gotten that close, I would have just sprayed it with a little lighter fluid and used it. Because it clearly was in
Hell
a safe
yeah.
location. It clearly was in a safe location.
Hell yeah. Fire. Great balls of
Oh
fire.
yeah, just I mean, that's a much better segment. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in season 5?
Taking a flag off the top of a building, there's no law against that. However, there's a law against arson.
And
Oh yeah,
trespassing.
that's true. That's true.
Also
That might have been kept in line.
trespassing.
Well, I mean, at this point, however, if they did try to press charges from a legal point of view, you could turn around and sue the crap out of Shia LaBeouf if he pressed charges, because you'd be saying you put a tempting target for people to do something hazardous. It's the same concept as if you have a swimming pool and you don't put a fence around it and somebody falls in and drowns, you're to blame, even though they're an idiot for climbing inside the pool. You created a tempting target and didn't protect people. At least in America, that's how the law works. So,
America.
oh yeah, America. So in this regard, Shia LaBeouf, every time he puts that flag up, he's risking his ass. Because if any of these guys had fallen off that building, they would have been well within their rights to sue the ever-living crap out of him. But can we just have a purge? It'd be nice. But who are we purging? That would be interesting. At any rate, I think we've done this topic to death.
I agree.
All right, two left on the list here. We're going to move on to briefly. I just want to talk about JonTron. He was going to have his. He was going to be. He was going to have his voice in a video game called Ukulele.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was based off of the game Banjo Kazooie.
yeah, and uh, basically, JonTron was going to have a voice work in there, and for the whole incident where basically he started saying things that he thought were true. Some things were off, I will admit. Not everything he talked about was dead on, but a lot. But it was clear that he's learning. It's clear that he's learning. He's he's opening up his eyes for the first time. He's not a great debater. I don't hold him for the few mistakes that he made, but in general, I would say 90% of what he said was on spot. The problem is they turned around and called him a Nazi stuff, and Ukulele said, "Oh, we're not going to have JonTron on our video game." Then a lot of people said, "Then I want a refund because I gave you money ahead of time." And they turned around and said, "We are not required to refund any money to you." And as the complaints built up, they basically started banning people from their own forums, closed off threads, locked them. And then I believe one employee just openly started calling everybody a Nazi and like racist and all this other crap. And when you can't control your employees, you start attacking those people who are potentially your fan base, you're screwed. I mean, is this a company to make money or is it some sort of I don't understand that.
It's
If people are depending on you for their jobs and you're taking a moral stand that's going to cost them their livelihood, you're an asshole. Nobody cares about this. Nobody cares. I mean, JonTron is not a Nazi. He is not racist. He's just asking questions and pointing out facts. That's it. I got nothing against the guy. He's made some mistakes, but that's because he's learning. And when he's pointed out, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." He's somebody who's learning. He's not a Nazi, flat out. But these guys reacting like that, virtue signaling to people who are not going to buy your game. All the people who are complaining, not one of them is going to spend one penny on your game. And your game's dead. I'm just calling it right now. Ukulele, it will never make a dime. Thoughts?
uh, Yeah, yeah, and the origin of the reason why the people of ukulele did that is because of the complaints from a certain forum or organization that was targeting John Tron and stuff. But they're not going to fund they weren't the ones that were the main funders or backers of that. I just assumed that all of this was just a money laundering scheme. To me, it just screams money laundering scheme because you don't do that to the people that fund your game or any type of thing. It's like, man, that's just stereotypical Kickstarter BS.
Yeah, I really don't trust Trickstarter anymore. I
Yeah,
mean,
Trickstarter.
yeah, Trickstarter, that's the one. At this point, I mean, if you like somebody or you like their concept and you want to give them money, them, then do that. But don't buy something by donating. That's where I think this becomes a scam. You know,
Yeah, it's a
because
terrible idea. I mean, I get if you're buying some like a store, like if you're buying something from a store, what's the word I'm looking for? Merch, whatever. Then that's understandable. But if you're actually gonna try and pre-order something to support someone, that's a shitty idea. Like personally, I don't want like to buy stuff, so I'm just a Patreon for Suit Yourself. That's it. But if you're gonna try and support someone, donate to them because you like their content, like them, not because you want something out of it.
exactly. I mean, even if like I was saying, okay, you donate to me, that I can get with because it's going to show up immediately. But it's you donate to me, and someday, eventually, a long time, if I get around to finish the game, you copy of it, no matter how good or bad. Seriously, but you know, it's their money. They want to give it up. They should be allowed to do it. Free market, blah blah blah. On the other hand, don't be a sucker. Seriously, I mean, the moment you gave the money to these people, and you're suddenly surprised that they're turning out to be a bunch of social justice warriors, really?
Shysters.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Didn't you do any research before into these people? Come on,
Background
seriously.
research, man.
I did try briefly to find out about this company. I spent maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes on Google. I couldn't find any names that I ever heard of before. None of these people are anybody. Oh, there you go. But just wanted to bring it up, briefly because, as a warning to other people in the future when you're thinking about, oh, I want to get on this Kickstarter for making this game. Don't.
Yeah, fuck Kickstarter, man. Fuck
There
that.
nobody's doing stupid things and giving themselves a name for, well, that doing stupid shit.
Oh, well, hey, we have our last topic here. I'm going to explain a bit ahead of.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Kekistan used to be a colonial power? Long time
Ooh.
ago, they had a colony called Kekiswela. They were at peace with the locals and the Indians and the Native American in South America down there. In fact, they thought they were kind of hot, screwed them. And but
Mm.
that's the problem. See, there were these normies, the Spaniards. They came over
Normies.
and basically wiped the colony out. All those damn normie Spaniards.
Ah.
Just took them out, Roanoke style. But however, even to this day, Kekistani culture can be seen influencing the modern world in that. And
Oh yeah.
specifically, apparently Venezuelan, which is the name for it, it should have been Kekistani. They're going with Venezuelan. Their currency is so bad with 1,600% inflation that they are using bitcoins in order to, instead of their normal currency, which involves the use of special trading cards called rare pepes. That little
Woo.
frog meme is being used as cash. Each individual card is linked to a certain dollar amount in bitcoins, and it's being used to pay bills because Venezuelan actual currency isn't worth the paper it's printed on. That's crazy. I mean,
Bitcoin.
I can understand the whole Bitcoin thing, but the fact that we need physical, things to trade, so they created trading cards of cash. Oh, it reminds me of back when I don't know if you guys remember Magic the Gathering, but when it was first
Yeah.
coming out,
Oh god, yes, I have so many of those. Help
pe-
me.
people were trading the rare cards for drugs, and the big running joke was, no, 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 they're not trading the cards for drugs. They're trading drugs for the cards. And that's just what comes back to mind here that people are paying for their bills with trading cards with frogs on them. It's just,
Well, I mean, it's kind of true because they can get up to hundreds, no, sometimes even thousands of dollars, so yeah.
oh, yeah, a single card. I mean, there's technically no limit to the card. You can, as much Bitcoin as you can stick on it. And the way Bitcoin is encrypted, it pretty much is there. I believe it comes with a little chip on it or something. I don't remember the exact details of the whole thing, like, because Bitcoin, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Until it becomes a lot more stable, I'm a lot of people saying Bitcoin's the future. Well, yeah, but in the future I'll take a look at it. But just the fact that in Venezuela their currency is so horrible that this is even a viable option.
Eldritch,
Yes.
Mr. Gurzon, is he going to join us or?
Oh, hey, Mr. Gurr. Let me send him a little message right now and see what's up.
But yeah, Bitcoin, the future of the world. Get connected.
All right, let's give him a minute or two to jump on. Oh, I don't know if you can trade the magic cards for drugs anymore, by the way. That was when it was first starting out. Then again, you could get a Mox gem for. And the thing is I know in the if you were caught with a lot of cash on you, that was grounds for cops arrest. So if you're got a pocket full of magic cards, well, then they can't arrest you because it's not cash. It's a little cardboard with some ink on it. But
Well, I
yeah,
mean, isn't cash like fabricy paper with a little bit of ink on it?
I know.
technically speaking, it's actually a rag. Like they call it paper money, but it really is technically cloth. The
Yeah, it's
exact
cl-
procedure is
cloth.
actually because you could take a dollar bill and wash it and it won't dissolve.
I seen how those are made. Yeah, it's complex. I think they use like a cotton blend.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's made out of denim and other things. Oh, got a Mr. Gurr sighting, but he's
Spotted a wild gur.
not at a while.
And
Ah, well.
oh yeah.
Hold on one second. All right, gonna be here in a few minutes.
Huzzah!
We'll go over a few of the things that we went over. Ah,
Excelsior.
but at any rate, back to the topic before. I just think that it's great. We're one more step towards actually creating Kakistan.
Yeah, we got a cryptocurrency, we got all types of things. And also, certain Pearson is actually spotting out a unclaimed land in between Egypt and Sudan, I think, called Bir Tawil, and they probably like, "Oh yeah, that could be Kyrgyzstan up in like North Africa."
Oh, that would be awesome. That would just. As an update, I know that Sargon of Akkad has not let up on his attempt to get Kyrgyzstan listed as a nationality UK census.
Wait, you can do that?
If you can get enough people to claim a nationality, and apparently enough people claimed a nationality that was kind of bogus
I need to
already
do
that it
that on the
got that it got
Canadian.
listed. It got listed as a nationality.
I need to start something to get that done for the Canadian one. I would like my parents let me do the census with them, and so I'm tempted to now start that in Canada.
Oh, yeah. In many ways, I, it would be even if it was just a virtual country somewhere, just just getting it on the books. By the way, did I tell you about my adventures with the IRS? I was trying to
N-
figure out whether to declare Donald Trump a god and worship.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they eventually
God
basically
Emperor.
told me to get a lawyer if I was going to continue trying to get information. But I went to him and I said, under the rules, you can't have a religion that furthers political goals. However, we accept that the physical manifestation of Donald Trump is different from his spiritual manifestation, which is God Emperor Trump.
How
So,
did you contact them? Because there
email,
was
email.
something. Oh, what's their email?
Oh, they have this helpline thing.
Ah,
But,
Is it
just
irs.gov, man?
yeah,
Come
it's
on,
on
go.
there, but they have a help desk for answering questions. And I had to send them like 3 times before I even got a response. And they referred me to somebody else. And then like, we're willing to accept. I mean, is this a proper distinction? Because we would like to apply for, status as a religion. So we would get, tax exempt status. And then the response was, get an attorney. You wish to get that was the. If you don't have an
I
attorney, we're not even going to
don't
talk to you.
I don't have the money for an attorney, and I don't have any legal power as a fetus. However, I'm going to give it a try.
Oh, the Principality of Sealand. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I remember that. There's that oil platform in the middle of nowhere. These people set up their own little artificial country on an oil platform. About that.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, some people bought an old defunct oil platform in the middle of somewhere, and then they said, "Oh, we're a nation now," and they set up the smallest country, and I think. But I haven't
Cute.
looked into it in a long time. I wonder if they've expanded. I mean, certainly it'd be a wonderful tax haven.
Yeah.
You can buy a title to the principality. Can I have be royalty from there? Oh, a baron. Baron Eldritch
That's
highlight.
awesome. Yeah, cool.
Uh, I haven't thought about how expensive it'd be to buy a title. So, and I mean, like one of those things where you could buy a star name, official star, something or other registry.
Any way you want.
Yeah, technically speaking, I think there's Walker stuff like that. In general,
I doubt. Of course, it would have to be some sort of subtle, but to the point where people would get it.
oh yeah, I mean, like I'm just imagining that over the years, like this keeps going for years because I think it funds like NASA. But someday, like we will find a way to go to the stars centuries from now, and you'll pull into a solar system, and welcome to the solar system of Sweaty Balls 66.
And it'd be like, there's live aliens, and they'd be like, "What the heck is these foreigners doing? Get out of here!"
Yeah.
I propose that instead of sending out that picture that we had before with the naked woman and the naked man, we just send out a picture of Pepe.
It's
Oh.
possible. It's possible if the satellite signals are strong enough outside the planet, they probably already got that image. Who
Well,
knows?
I don't think you know, but a long ago, I forget what it was. They used the most powerful radar dish on America to send out a signal to, I believe, the Lesser Magellan Cloud, which basically is a binary code that, if you arrange it correctly, shows pictures of humanity, et cetera, et cetera. It's a pretty simple code. Um, but it would be amazing if we could scrape together enough money to hire that same place again to send out another picture of Pepe the Frog.
It's
Hello,
possible.
Mr. Gurr.
It's
Mr.
possible.
Hello.
Kerr, how's it going?
Good morning, people.
Good
It's
morning to you.
6:30 here, or almost. So yeah,
Yeah, I
morning.
figured you had to sleep or something. How's it been? How's Europe doing?
It's been okay. It's nothing too much happening. Just a little bit drunk. That's all.
Wanted to do some follow up on a few things. Yesterday, by the way, mentioned the whole thing that went on in Rants. Last I heard, that isn't a terrorist attack. It
Yeah,
was a drug deal bad, and people kind of jumped.
yeah,
You know, the fact that people are nervous enough that anything starts to jump out should be news enough.
yeah. And yeah, when people start to presume that it is a terrorist attack, then you know that there is a problem.
Yeah, if that's your go
But
to thought.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Now, I want to make a prediction here. My prediction here is that they have basically moved on and completely forgotten that terrorist attack that happened a couple of days ago. Pretty much it, or is it still in the news?
it's gone. On the mainstream Sky News and BBC News 24. Yeah, it's just old news now.
You know,
It's the occasional just bit about, oh, someone's complaining about this and new security measures being in place and things, but yeah, generally uh, it's not interesting anymore.
that's sad. I know at least when they had the Pulse shooting here, though they were trying to suppress, it lasted at least a week.
Yeah,
Getting attacked. It was he was going for Parliament or some official government building.
yeah, it was heading straight toward the Parliament building. He was on the Parliament grounds when he stabbed the police officer.
I mean that there should be like something. Don't let go. But the fact, oh, well, not worry about it. Cares. Yeah, must be Tuesday. Tuesday. Somebody. killed a bunch of people. By the way, we were just talking about it. I wanted to go over with you and get your thoughts on some of the stuff. We've reviewed a lot, but we'll go in reverse order. We'll go in reverse order. Did you hear about the Venezuelan currency is slowly being replaced by rare pepes?
Yeah, that's crazy. I just was listening to that when I was getting ready. Yeah, that's insane. It's fantastic at the same time.
Fantastic.
Part of me really
Yeah.
wants to do something for Venezuela.
Yeah.
It's cool from our position, but how crappy does your country have to be that this is a viable option?
Yeah.
So, if anybody from Venezuela ever hears us, come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you. Problem is, I don't think any of us speak whatever they hope it's English. Then we could chat as much as you want. But if you know English and you're from Venezuela, let us know. We'd love to talk. Kind of sad. There's got to be something that can be done, but I think the big problem is nothing's going to come from outside the country because it's being ignored.
Yeah.
They speak Spanish.
I kind of figured that.
I wasn't sure.
I
Spanish
learned a
or-
little bit when I was younger, and then
I only know Mexican Spanish. I don't know, normal Spanish.
Well, with any luck, they'll have a revolution and they'll become Quecazuela. If that's the case, then we need to throw our support behind whoever is leading the Quecazuelan revolution.
Yes, I will move there in a heartbeat.
And kick out all the normies.
Honestly, I hate to say it. Everything I've heard from all the reports, all the videos, because Venezuela I can't assume it's gotten any worse in the past month. It's gotten any better in the past. It's bad. It's bad. People starving in the street, bad. Your healthcare's got to hell. You're better off going to some witch doctor in the world. God forbid you secretly have a farm. You're secretly growing food. They will arrest you and throw you in jail. They just arrested people who make bread.
Wow.
That was a couple of weeks ago. They did a big crackdown on underweight loaves. Because apparently the way it works is the government buys the grain and the flour and gives gives a certain amount to the bakers, and then the bakers have to make the loaves of bread. Well, the problem is we give you enough flour to make 100 loaves of bread at a weight of 100 grams each. We need you to make 200 loaves. Well, you either make 100 loaves, which means you're not meeting your production, or you've got to cut you've got to cut your flour with something. You've got to use something else, and then you're making crappy bread. And of course, the bread is at a set value, but if you make croissants or wheat rolls or any other kind of other treat, those you can sell at whatever price you want. So of course, they're making the stuff they can actually sell and make money off of.
Yeah.
But then there's so if you're having food shortages and people are starving, what's your solution? Arrest all the people who break bread.
That's insane.
They obviously. And I think a big problem with them, this is something to bring up, is they have a brain drain. If you actually have any amount of intelligence, you get the hell out.
No.
But since nobody's smart is staying there to fix things. Remember, intelligence is a bell curve. So if you get rid of everybody who's got 100 IQ and above, what are you left with?
The crap.
1984.
Yeah. There's, unless some miracle occurs, I'm expecting there's going to be. Or what you're going to see is, and this is my big fear, a bunch of Muslims are going to figure out that the things are so crappy over there, and they're going to go over there as an organized group. And frankly, if I was starving to death and my baker just got arrested and bunch of, Islamic fundamentalists showed up and said, if you worship Allah, we will give you food and give you guns so you can take back your country. I'd be like, okay, hail, hail,
Yeah,
praise Allah. I'm there with you. I got to eat. I don't want to die. Can't blame them.
that's a very viable option and a very scary thought.
I mean, it hasn't happened yet. Knock on wood, whatever wood is, but that's my big
But it
fear. In
could.
fact, it wouldn't surprise me if it was already happening. It would not, because the most efficient form of government is a dictator. It's why
Yeah.
militaries are top-down dictatorships, because it gets results. Problem is any dictatorship that doesn't have a change in management eventually suffers corruption. All governments never change. So it'll be brand new, it'll work, it'll get results, and then it'll fall apart. They'll be right back where they are, except probably be.
So, what kind of government does Venezuela have at the moment? Is it?
I would call it flat out communism. I mean, they're a socialistic democracy, but a, it's a democracy in name. There's only one party, so
Uh,
who's running is already decided, and anybody who actually opposes this end up dead somehow. All sorts of
so,
horrible accidents.
so another Cuba then, but worse.
Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing. I will say this about Cuba. I think honestly, Cuban government did kind of care about their people. I mean, they were communists and they wanted a revolution and everything, and they wanted to stay in power. But they didn't. I don't think they actively were like going, you know what? If we let half our people die off, it'll be a lot easier for the rest of us. I really got a feeling of Venezuela's like letting people die. Really do. There's no other explanation, as far as I'm concerned, other than malevolence.
Damn.
But with any luck, the rare Pepes will help form a core group of Kekistani revolutionaries, and 4chan will do everything they can to help them out. So if anybody in Venezuela is starting a revolution, do it in the name of Kekistan, and you've got 4chan on your side. And those guys are crazy. They're like
Yeah.
weaponized autistic cats. So
Yeah.
they're gonna come. They're gonna come and help you best they can. You'll get support that way.
Well, wasn't 4chan one of the active sources in the Arab Spring?
Yeah, to begin with. Yeah, there's gays there. A lot of different people there. I call it briar patching, where they put up
Well,
all this crazy stuff just to make it painful for normies to show up.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
when it comes to like poll, it's just making fun of politics. It doesn't reflect their actual views. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there are some racists in there, but to be honest, I don't know if you guys did. I had to deal with neo Nazis. I ever tell you guys about that?
Yeah.
The one with the Jew and the Nazi.
Oh
Yeah.
no. I'm talking about after
Okay,
that.
then no.
This was I had a friend. I had a friend. Well, two friends. They wound up getting involved in this. People don't realize. I love how people call people Nazis. No, there are no Nazis in America. There are neo Nazis. There are no real Nazis.
Yeah.
These Nazis, they don't really follow Mein Kampf. They just follow enough of it. The whole point of being a neo Nazi, you got your small little group, and they were all drug dealers. It was a drug cartel. It was a drug gang basically. But the point is that they put the swastikas on the foreheads and they have the tattoos and they shave the heads
Oh,
to
is it
alienate
Aryan
themselves
Brotherhood?
from everybody. That's the point. To drive a wedge between them and their families so that you are forced to only socialize with the group. And the people in charge don't believe any of the bullshit. All that racism bullshit, that was just the means to keep everybody under one. Like Spencer, when he said, I'm not a Nazi, and then he got punched in the face. If he had been an actual member of, say, the group that I know about,
If you said that, then they'd
they
have
would have
killed
killed him. They would have killed him. They would have slit his throat. He would have been dead by morning. You do not say, I'm not a Nazi. You are proud you're a Nazi. You are proud I'm a Nazi, even though they're not Nazis, because they don't, if a real Nazi found these guys, the Nazi would want them all dead because they are all genetically filth, but they just want to use mystique.
So
It's all bullshit. But just
it's
because they were
edgelords
drug dealers,
vs.
it's a drug dealing cult. That's what it is.
Drug dealing edgelords.
Yeah, and the thing is that that's the part that bothers me with all this talk about Nazis. You're hiding the real ones who are criminals, who are ruthless, and God, I'd love to see an SJW punch these guys. They drag you behind their motorcycles for 100 miles and leave parts of you all over this landscape. Seriously, these guys, I had to help pay to get one person. I had to pay for them to leave. I helped come up with the money. That's the only way you do it. If you say, I'm just not a part of the group anymore, that doesn't fly. You have to buy your way out. Wow. That is a level of crazy. And I don't know what's been going on since I've been out of Buffalo. I'm sure a lot has changed because there used to be one crime boss. While there was the one crime boss, things were pretty stable. But something happened to him. I don't know if he just left or died or whatever, but he vanished one day. And kind of the reason why I left Western New York is because I'm starting to get really bad. No, so who knows what's over there now? Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt and decades ago. So I don't know what modern neo-Nazis were, but I remember what they were like back then. All they're doing is hiding them. They're hiding them beneath a cloud of bullshit. I can imagine everybody laughing there. And there's another digression. Oh, is the feedback? Did it cut out completely?
Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we had somebody in the chat say that the feed cut out for a few seconds.
I think it was just on YouTube, that's all.
Well, otherwise, I'll go over a few of the things that we went over already, Mr. Gurr, in case you wanted to make any comments. Amy Schumer quit the Barbie movie. Any thoughts?
Thank goodness, but, well, even though I had no plans on watching it anyway, but I just hope that they can find a more decent role model for girls.
Yeah, it's nothing but identity politics. Any movie that depends on Ed Poll is so, and it doesn't have a director, just so you know.
Yeah. Let's see if it even gets made.
I doubt it. It'll probably be in creation hell forever. Next that we talked about was basically you hear about Bushel Media. They've been attacking small YouTubers. It's kind of an overall trend. Yeah, we've got basically some media groups basically trying to terrorize small people. They've got these form letters that they send out to people, the cease and desist bullshit.
What channels do they represent?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. What was that one? You remember what it was? Atheist? Do you remember which one it was?
Faith Kids?
Yeah, Faith Kids was the one pushing it out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people who are getting on, and so but it isn't just that. That's all I've noticed is a general trend. It used to be the official was you only punch up, you don't punch down. You don't go after unless somebody below you's punching up, you don't punch back. That's pretty much gone out the window. And my opinion is that CNN and the others, they tried to take down big names like JonTron and PewDiePie.
Yeah.
And so what happens? That doesn't work. Okay, let's terrorize the small people and hope that we can, stop the next one from getting anywhere.
Yeah, I remember seeing the video by Suit Yourself where he told about the letter that them from Faith Kids sent.
Yeah, next up we talked about the whole PragerU thing. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Any comments? I'm pretty much exhausted it.
Yeah. I've got nothing else to add. At this moment, anyway.
And I believe we went over the updates on the He Will Not Divide Us. You hear about, they didn't actually steal the flag. They had to, but they got it off and ran with it, and they had to.
Yeah. Well, that's still a win.
That's at least a tie, in my opinion. If not a flat out, if not a moral victory, it's at least a tie. Do you think there's going to be a season 5?
Um, I don't know. It might be more of a reboot where he tries something else that's not a flag.
Really? Yeah, because I got this feeling that this is probably his. Part of me wants him to give up, but part of me also is, oh, come on. Bring it by. I want at least one more shot of my country. Please.
Yeah.
Anyway, were there any topics you wanted to bring up? Because that pretty much is the summary of everything we talked
Yeah.
about.
There's nothing. I've been out of the loop all day, to be honest. So I've got nothing new to be fair.
Alrighty, well, I'm glad you could stop by for the end there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, kind of a wrap up. We did the show yesterday, but internet's been moving pretty fast lately, and we missed some stuff, and new stuff happened.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, as always, the whole purpose of this is practice. Everybody here is got a small channel, just trying to improve our skills. Kind of a little debate society here. If anybody wants, hey, they want to improve their debate skills, send me a message. Be more than happy to have you come by. There's a small vetting process. We don't just let anybody in. Don't want to get too big right away because the goal is to improve ourselves. I don't expect to ever be a huge channel, but if I can help 100 people become huge channels, that is far more of an effect. End goal. And if anybody wants to help, or if you just want to help, like I know one thing, I could be a good artist. I've been trying to think up a new logo and I can't draw. At any rate, nothing else from anybody? Last chance?
Nothing else from me.
I kind of doubt that, Redemption. I've been watching you for a while. I think you're exactly the type of person we're looking for. But at any rate,
Yeah.
that all said, this is Unthoth Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers. You have been listening to Eldritch Rants. Hope you have a pleasant